Hi, Rising Impanda! In this last chapter of the series, I'll summarize what impansion is, why it's so important and how you can use it to improve the world. Science uses math to classify human experience and predict experimental results. This language conveys concepts like in, out, big and small that condition the resulting picture, an expanding whirl of particles where only what you can measure can be said to exist. But many aspects of nature don't make sense from that perspective. So researchers of diverse fields have developed the language of complexity in the last decades. They use math more creatively, giving less credit to material concepts. This revolution is happening on every scale, from the quantum world to the most complex systems. Still, these scientists need a picture of the universe that matches their findings. They need an answer to the question, okay, but what does complexity look like? Impansion answers by integrating two seemingly opposite pictures of reality. One consists of space-time and mass. The other is pure complexity, increasingly dissonant inward layers. Metaphors like this make up all our experiences. Indeed, we need different metaphors for different purposes. For example, black holes as vacuum cleaners can be a practical metaphor for organizing and increasing scientific data. Black holes as fractal tips can be a necessary metaphor to integrate our knowledge. And black holes as portals to magical dimensions can be a useful metaphor for artistic inspiration or scamming gullible people. It all depends on the context. Hence, impansion is a safety line to test science from the outside while keeping your mind clear. It encourages you to think critically. But impansion also runs into some essential morals, like many religions and ideologies. For instance, if matter is not a literal thing, then we shouldn't accumulate material objects we don't need. If the past is not literal, we should concentrate more on forgiveness than punishment and regret. And if death is not literal, then we should cease struggling for survival and just live. For example, these 4 years of developing the impansion idea have turned me into a more tolerant and confident thinker. When I'm under pressure, I remember that all the futures concerning this project already exist, embedded in this moment. My task is to transform my now to include the most exciting futures I can imagine. Still, it's not me the subject for those futures. Recording this video for you transforms me and you into a more complex being called us. So, metaphors like this can transform our personal lives, but also define a culture when shared. Much of cultural change arises from the introduction of new metaphorical concepts and the loss of old ones. For example, the westernization of cultures throughout the world is partly a matter of introducing the time is money metaphor into those cultures. Can you imagine how different the world would be if we tempered our belief in time and matter while keeping scientific knowledge? Now we have a chance. Impansion is neither a science nor a religion, but a conceptual playground. For example, someday you can imagine complexity as a soap of ratios, so you can find an interesting pattern that inspires a new scientific discovery. Straight away, you can figure it out as a unique being that looks at itself from partial views, a good description for a tolerant God. It's not what, but how you believe what makes you an impanda. If your beliefs are more a net than a concrete floor, chances are you are already one of us. So it's your turn now. If you find impansion inspiring, talk about it, apply it to different areas, try to refute it. If you cannot, it may become the best explanation for all we know, a non-literal theory of everything. I love you. Bye.